My precious child, I see you. I have seen you since the very moment you were woven together, and I see you right now, in this very moment of your life. I know the quiet sighs that escape your lips when you sit alone in the stillness of your room. I know the thoughts that race through your mind when the house is quiet, and the memories of yesteryears come rushing in like a gentle yet overwhelming tide. You have entered what the world calls the twilight years, the third act of this earthly journey, and I want you to know, before I say anything else, that I am sitting right beside you. I feel the heaviness you carry in your chest. I feel the doubts that whisper to you in the dark hours of the night. You are not invisible to me. In fact, you have never been more visible, more radiant, or more cherished in my eyes than you are at this very second. I know that looking into the mirror can sometimes feel like looking at a stranger. You see the silver in your hair and the deep lines etched into your face, but inside, your soul still feels like that young, vibrant person with a lifetime stretching out ahead. Those lines on your face are not marks of fading value. They are the beautiful, sacred maps of a journey that you have bravely fought to survive. Every tear you have shed, every loss you have endured, every time you had to smile when your heart was breaking, I was there, collecting those moments. I know the physical aches that greet you in the mornings, the way your body no longer obeys your commands as swiftly as it once did. The world may look at youth as the only definition of beauty and strength, but the world's vision is deeply flawed. True strength is enduring the decades, carrying the weight of life, and still having a heart that seeks love. I want to validate the unique pain you are feeling in this season. I know there is an unspoken anxiety about the future, a quiet fear of becoming a burden to those you love. I hear the silent questions you ask me. Did I do enough? Was my life meaningful? Did I make too many mistakes? My beloved, hear my voice right now. Release that guilt. Let it fall from your weary shoulders. The guilt of the past, the regrets over things said or left unsaid, the paths taken or ignored. These are heavy stones you were never meant to carry into this season of your life. You did the best you could with the tools, the light, and the understanding you had at the time. I do not look at your life through a lens of judgment, ticking boxes of failures and successes. I look at your life through the profound, unshakable lens of my unconditional love for you. You have lost people along the way, friends, family members, perhaps a spouse, or siblings who walked this earth with you. The grief of outliving those you love is a profound, echoing sorrow that only someone who has walked it can truly understand. I see the empty chairs at your table. I feel the void in your heart when you want to pick up the phone and call someone who is no longer there to answer. Your tears are holy to me. I have never once rushed your grieving process, and I never will. It is okay to feel the ache of their absence, but I want to remind you that you are not left behind as a forgotten remnant. You are still here for a divine, magnificent reason. You are my chosen one. The anxieties you face in this third age, the worries about health, about finances, about the legacy you will leave behind, are real, and I do not dismiss them. I do not tell you to simply ignore your reality. Instead, I am asking you to invite me into the very center of it. Let me sit with you in your worries. You have spent your entire life being the strong one, the provider, the caretaker, the one everyone else leaned on. Now, it is your turn to lean. It is your turn to be held. You do not have to perform for me. You do not have to have it all together. You can come to me broken, tired, confused, and weary, and I will meet you with open arms and perfect understanding. You are safe with me. I validate your journey. I honor your survival, and I completely, unconditionally love the beautiful soul you are today. Now, let us walk together through the garden of your memories, not to dwell in sorrow, but to understand how the weight upon your soul grew so heavy. Let me show you the anatomy of your burdens, so we can finally dismantle them together. Life on this earth happens with a breathtaking, sometimes terrifying speed. Do you remember your younger days? The days when your heart was open, when you believed anything was possible, when the world felt vast and full of promise. But then, the days turned into weeks, the weeks into years, and the years into decades. The demands of this physical world took over. You had to survive. You had to provide. You had to protect yourself and those you loved. In the relentless rush to simply keep your head above water, something profound and quiet slipped away: your peace. Without even realizing it, you began to build walls. The world is not always a gentle place. You experienced betrayals that stung your spirit. You experienced disappointments that knocked the wind out of your hopes. You faced economic hardships, family crises, and societal pressures that demanded your constant, exhausted attention. To survive the pain, to ensure you would not be broken by the harshness of the world, you gathered stones. With every hurt, you laid a stone. With every fear, you added mortar. Over the decades, you built a fortress around your heart. This wall was meant to keep the pain out. But my child, walls do not only block out the wind and the rain, they also block out the sunlight. They block out the warmth. They locked you inside a prison of your own defense mechanisms. The world taught you a very exhausting lie. It taught you that you had to be in control. It convinced you that if you just worked hard enough, worried long enough, and planned meticulously enough, you could keep tragedy at bay. So, you worried. You worried for your children, for your parents, for your job, for your home. Worry became the background noise of your entire adult life. You thought that by holding tightly to the reins of control, you were protecting your loved ones. But I see the toll it has taken on your spirit. The sheer exhaustion of trying to manage the unmanageable has drained your vitality. The world stole your peace by convincing you that peace was something you had to earn through perfect circumstances. Look back at the decades, my chosen one. See how the culture around you celebrated busyness as a virtue. You were taught that your worth was tied to your productivity, to what you could do, build, or provide. When your body began to slow down, when retirement came, or when the physical abilities of your youth faded, the world subtly sent you a cruel message that your usefulness was over. This is a profound lie from a broken world. You absorbed this lie, and it created a deep, aching void within you. You felt lost because the identities you had worn for so long, the worker, the active parent, the tireless provider, were shifting. You were standing in the middle of a bustling world, feeling as though you had been relegated to the sidelines, forgotten by the very society you helped build. But I want you to look at those walls now, not with shame, but with deep compassion for the younger version of yourself who felt they had to build them. You did what you had to do to survive a world that often lacks grace, but you do not have to live in survival mode anymore. The war is over. The striving can cease. I am offering you a loving, reality-anchored solution right here, right now. The solution is surrender. Not the surrender of defeat, but the glorious, liberating surrender of dropping an armor that is too heavy for you to wear. You do not need to protect yourself anymore, because I am your ultimate protector. You do not need to figure out the future, because I am already there. Let us gently take down those stones, one by one. Let the light of my love hit those places in your heart that have been kept in the dark for 30, 40, or 50 years. Breathe out the accumulated stress of a lifetime. The world took your peace, but the world cannot keep what belongs to me. I am giving it back to you today. Now, my beloved, we reach the turning point, the moment where your perspective shifts from the fading light of the world to the eternal, brilliant dawn of my grace. You may look at the calendar and feel that time is running out. You may think that because your body is aging, your greatest days are behind you. Hear my voice with absolute clarity. My grace does not operate on human time. In my kingdom, a single second of true, awakened connection is worth more than 1,000 years of sleepwalking through life. It is never, ever too late for me. The time you have left on this earth, whether it is measured in days, months, or years, is more than enough for complete redemption, profound joy, and absolute peace. You are reading this, you are hearing my words, because your spiritual awakening is complete. You have passed through the fire, you have endured the decades, and your soul has ripened. The title of this message is true. Your awakening is over, and it is time to step into your spiritual authority. It is time to use your powers. You may ask, what powers, Lord? I am just a weary soul. But let me reveal to you the 7 signs that you have awakened, and the immense power that comes with them. First, you no longer desire to win arguments. You desire peace. That is the power of wisdom. You have realized that being right is an illusion, but inner peace is a treasure. Second, you see through the illusions of the material world. The shiny things that distract the youth no longer hold you captive. That is the power of spiritual sight. Third, your heart aches with a deep, quiet compassion for the suffering of others, even strangers. That is the power of unconditional love. Fourth, you forgive much faster than you used to, realizing that holding grudges is like drinking poison. That is the power of release. Fifth, silence no longer terrifies you. Instead, it feels like a warm blanket where you can hear my voice. That is the power of communion. Sixth, you realize that a single heartfelt prayer from your lips holds more weight than 1,000 hours of physical labor. That is the power of intercession. Seventh, despite the aches and the unknowns, you feel a deep, unshakable assurance that you belong to me. That is the power of divine sonship. These are your powers, my chosen one. You are not a retired, sidelined observer. You are an elder, a spiritual warrior, a beacon of light in a dark world. Your prayers can shift the atmosphere of your family. Your gentle wisdom can guide a lost generation. Your radical peace, in the face of aging and mortality, is the greatest testimony of my reality that anyone could ever witness. Do you remember when I was in the boat with my disciples, and the violent storm threatened to drown them? They were terrified of the end. But I stood up, looked at the raging sea, and spoke a simple command, as it is written in the book of Mark. Peace, be still, and the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. I am speaking those exact words over your life right now, over your health anxieties, over your financial worries, over your regrets, and over your fears of tomorrow. Peace, be still. The storm of your past is over. The frenzied rushing of your younger years is finished. You have entered the sanctuary of my grace. You are a chosen vessel of God, deeply loved, fiercely guarded, internally strong, and eternally protected. The world looks at the elderly and sees the end of a story. I look at you and see a masterpiece receiving its final, most glorious strokes of gold. Your soul is not aging, it is expanding. It is preparing to step out of the confines of this physical realm and into the boundless, unimaginable joy of my eternal presence. Until that day comes, I need you here. I need your prayers. I need your love. I need your awakened spirit to shine. You do not walk alone anymore. Every morning when you wake up, I am the breath in your lungs. Every night when you close your eyes, I am the guardian of your soul. Rest in me. Use your power of peace to transform your home. Use your power of prayer to cover your loved ones. Let go of the heavy burdens, for I have already carried them to the cross for you. You are completely forgiven. You are entirely whole in my sight. Leave your burden in the comments below. Type, I receive your peace, Lord. And please, subscribe to this channel so we can continue to walk together, side by side, every single day. I love you, now and forever.